All right, guys. So let's kind of go over the Veve Master Collector program here. I know a lot of the other YouTubers are kind of already doing this, but let's kind of get into it. So this is the first time I've really just kind of glanced at this article. So kind of first impressions here. So the Master Collector program will bring exciting benefits to every Veve collector. Let's go look at the work in progress. So this is, first of all, let's just say this is really exciting. If you saw my last video, you would have seen that I was a little bit irritated about the progression of Immutable. And actually, one of the things I did say was that just kind of release the articles and pacify the community for like a month or so. That's usually what happens with big news. But really, it's been big for Veve just in general. So I'm glad they kind of did this. I'm sure they didn't do it because I complained about it on a on a dumb little video here, but it's good that we had it released. So let's kind of get into it. It's really kind of good. Let's go. Get a little sip of coffee there. So this is a work in progress. It's the initial outline. So collectible. It's a 3D collectible digital comic that makes sense. There will be measures to prevent users from exploiting, abusing, or otherwise gaming the system. Now, you know there's always going to be competition between people who want to game the system and the defense mechanisms Veve puts out. Anything that has value, people are going to try to game. So we know it's going to be a cat and mouse type game here, right? Let's go over the summary. All users are automatically enrolled. Points will be rewarded retroactively. So those who have been collecting are going to get points. Otherwise, you start at level 0. Collectors earn points from in-app activity. They can earn one-off points, daily reoccurring points as well. Once the points are earned, the collector will proceed to the next level. They can spend the points with Veve, and spending does not affect your level or rank. So you're free to use it as kind of an in-game or in-app currency, so to speak. They'll also earn a rank based on their level and points earned, and the collector's rank position is determined by activity relative to other collectors. So getting into the points here, there's one-off points, so 100 points when completing new user onboarding, 100 points when completing a set, 25 points purchasing collectibles, 15 points purchasing collectibles in the marketplace. So if you buy secondhand, so to speak, you're going to be not left behind there. A variable amount when earning an achievement badge, depending on achievement type. Also, some daily reoccurring points based on their collection and in activity. +1 point for each collectible owned. If duplicates are held, you get kind of diminishing amounts there. So if you're a huge whale holding something, you know, you're not going to get a lot of points. It diminishes downward really quickly there. Kind of levels the playing field in a sense. Rarity bonuses makes sense to me. The more points, you get more points based off of the rarity. So people are going to like that. Low edition. Now, this definitely seems like something that was asked by the community because we tend to value the lower mints there. So I'm glad that they recognize that. Really pretty responsive when you think of things. 0.5 points there for sub 150 mint and etc. Collectible sets. Sets offering a varying amount of collectibles. The points earned are based on the number of collectibles within the set. So more points for the more larger sets. Duplicate sets. If you own one or more of the same set, the additional sets are subject to a reduced amount of points versus unique sets there. So comics. If a collector owns all released issues in a specific series, they will receive 5 points daily. For example, if Veve had released 4 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, a collector owns all 4 issues, they will receive daily points for each issue, plus 5 points for owning all released comic issues in the series. In-app activity, 1 point is received for all in-app activity actions. In-app activities will have a maximum limit of 25 points per day. Things like daily login, sharing, commenting, liking, market listings, etc. This is actually really big, actually. I think it's really rewarding people for using the app. And I think this will matter once we get even larger. This is going to be a bigger deal, I believe, there. So there's kind of some exciting parts down here below. I'm just kind of going through this article. I have some thoughts on it. We actually were having a little debate about this on the lottery system, so kind of stay tuned to that in a few seconds here. Points are earned on activities, transactions that take place within Veve. Recurring points stop occurring after 14 days of inactivity. So you have to be a really active user there. Points have a shelf life and must be spent within 6 months of earning points. So you can't step away 5 years later, you have 1,000,000 points, and then you can do whatever. You have to be an active, engaged user. And, all apps, it all boils down to how active your user base is. You want your users to be active. The more active they are, the more likely they are to stay on. Facebook, Instagram, they're all about engagement. So this is kind of rewarding engagement. Retroactive points. When MCP is officially launched, level points will be calculated from the time a collector's Veve account was created. The number of points received will only be calculated based on the number of collectibles and set the collector's own at that time. Also got some things within levels, ranks, and badges. Let me just kind of skip through here. It's something I do want to talk about, I think is really big, because it does hint at what we could see with OMI token utility. The drop lottery. The MCP drop lottery gives collectors a greater chance to obtain a specific collectible in an upcoming drop. A small percentage of editions of each rarity in a drop will be made available for this lottery. How it works. At a set time before a drop, the MCP lottery will be open to those collectors with the required level of access. The collector can choose which collectible and rarity they want to wager points on. The number of collectors wagering on a collectible will be shown, but the amount wagered will not. All points wagered in the MCP drop lottery are spent post-drop, regardless of whether the lottery was won or not. So a lot of us were debating, are we going to have an auction-style system versus a lottery system? So now it's very clear that it's lottery-based, because in an auction system, you wager your points and you only lose your money in auctions sense if you win. And a lottery suggests you pay up, and whether you win or lose, you lose it no matter what. So I'm glad they went with the lottery verbiage, because remember that Dan Crothers did talk about how OMI staking, OMI token utility will have a very similar function if you watched previous AMAs with Dan there. And so there's going to be another system, another way where you can use your OMI tokens to do essentially some of the aspects of the drop lottery. So that's actually really exciting, because when you think about it, if you really want to buy a collectible with OMI, guess what? If they follow the same drop lottery system, that means you wager your OMI. And I'm assuming the exciting part is if you wager it and you lose, that's going to kind of suck for you. But at the same time, all of that OMI is burnt. All of that OMI is burnt. That is not something that a lot of people on YouTube have been talking about, mostly because we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. But I'm assuming, since Dan Crothers used the terminology, the verbiage lottery, the same thing is going to happen with OMI token utility, where if you want to get a collectible, let's say like the James Bond movie ticket, if you got that would have been actually could be potentially worth a lot of money. It's a piece of history right there, right? I mean, some of those tickets were going for like $1 million. Whether someone actually buys that is probably highly debatable and speculative. But if you wanted to get that, you could have theoretically perhaps wagered, I don't know, 1 million OMI. And if you didn't win, you would have lost that. Now, there's going to be some, what I like to say, game theory in regards to this, because you're going to have to think about wagering OMI. MCP points, in the sense, are a little bit cheaper, right? Because you can accrue them just by having collectibles. They're going to be worth something, but OMI tokens are going to be worth a lot more because you bought those tokens with cash money. So imagine a situation where every single drop, at least a couple people, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people, however many, are wagering a certain amount of OMI. I don't know. And let's say you wager 1 million OMI because you really want to get something. It's a secret rare. It's very, very, very valuable, right? Wager 1 million OMI, that's worth, like, I don't know, at the time of recording, maybe $7,000 USD. And you get that, and maybe that thing is worth $12,000. Now automatically made like a $5,000 profit, right? So Really exciting in terms of if you are a collector, but also really exciting. And this is not really priced in the OMI token, it's an implication of what we can expect from OMI token utility. We have a lot of tokens. No one lies about the fact that how many tokens we have. 750 billion tokens, right? We also know that some of those will never enter circulation, but the maximum circulating supply, it's something like 300 billion some odd tokens. After all the founder unlocks, after all the business development tokens are utilized, that's a lot of tokens sitting in the marketplace. But this is going to be a very easy, quick way to start burning tokens like crazy. So really exciting. I'm more of an investor. I've always said that I'm more of an investor than a collector, but still I'm excited from a comic book buying perspective, which I buy quite a few comics, and also from a investment perspective. And I know that the market is reacting really positively to this news. Let's see here at looking at the markets here. It was actually interesting. I would have thought that the Disney announcement would have caused a bigger bump in terms of the OMI token price, but only now are we starting to see a little bit of a bump to the upside there. So, really kind of interesting there. Oof, what is going on here? It's not a pretty view, is it? Oh, those are futures. Okay, whoops. But we are trading when I checked, it was like 7-0 or something like that. Let me just take this off, stop screen for a second, and get the screen up here for you guys. But really exciting time. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments kind of down below there. I think it's pretty exciting. Okay, let's see here. 6-9, share that screen there. So, we're trading at 695, and really the market is just reacting to a lot of this news that we have. Really kind of good. If you look at our RSI, we're kind of in neutral territory, neither overbought, neither oversold. So could be a good time to buy. Actually, yesterday, I did pick up a lot of OMI. I've reached my goal of about 10 million OMI or so, so I'm pretty happy about that. I wish I would have gotten in sooner, but it's still exciting nonetheless. Would love to see audio jingles implemented in badges. Someone was talking about this today, actually. What do you guys think about if on the description of the collectible, it's like read in Morgan Freeman's voice? Someone sent me a clip of them kind of doing that. It was like in Morgan Freeman's voice. And it was really kind of cool. But there's a lot of things they can do with sound, I think, to keep people engaged. So, anyways. So, if you saw my last video, I was complaining a little bit about the speed in the sense of the migration. And people kind of took that as like, I'm whining. I don't know how to invest in crypto. But really, I want to be very clear here that you can be a little bit irritated at something and still be really bullish on it, right? So it's just a little bit of a complaint I had. I just wished the immutable would have happened already, but there's a lot of things kind of backlogged, so to speak, right? Anyways, Iron Man says, what about the OMI? Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we don't have that yet. They're probably working out some of the kinks. I think that's going to be released here soon. So that will be exciting to know as well. I am a little bit more excited about OMI token utility, more so than the MCP, but still it's a win for us. We've had a lot of good wins recently, right? We have Disney. Here's the thing I want to talk about a little bit about Disney is, let me just take a swig of this coffee here. When you guys look at the collectibles, I've been thinking about this recently. Now, all the collectibles are newer Marvel things, right? We have the Loki alligator drop. And on Saturday, I think we have the zombie Avenger type drops. Don't you think that that's really interesting? And I feel like when I was thinking about why did Ikomi win the license to Marvel? Now we know it's Disney. Disney encompasses a lot of things, right? Star Wars, National Geographic, ESPN, so many different properties. And I think we always assume that the team came to them trying to just sell them on collectibles. But I personally don't think that Disney and the Ikomi team sold them just on the idea of NFTs. I think what they sold them on is the future. And what is the future? If you watched the recent AMA with Reese, it was on D apps or something like that under Discord. He was very bullish on like the future on wearables. Now we've heard this before, eventually we're going to get things like AR glasses. It's just kind of what's going to happen over this coming decade. We're going to have VR, AR glasses. We're going to be able to see different things. Imagine having everyone, instead of their smartphone, having glasses that are really easy to wear. And we know that Google has gotten into Google Glass in the past. So they were already thinking kind of in this direction. But imagine a world where instead of looking something up on the phone, you can look it up in your glasses. Let's say you're vacationing somewhere. I'm going to go to San Francisco here in December on vacation with my wife and my baby. And imagine looking and you can just say, hey, Google, where's the closest coffee shop? And automatically tells you, it pops up in your glasses where the local coffee shop is, what the customer rating is, if it's 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever, and you go there. Now, I can imagine Google already wanting to be interested in something like that. So, from an entertainment perspective, how do you capitalize on something like AR glasses, which we know is coming? If you keep up on the AR, VR space, you'll know that a lot of people are talking about it. Facebook wants to do a metaverse. Other people like Google, for example, they want to get into AR. It just makes sense. There's a lot of games that also involve AR, like Pokemon Go, catching Pokemon. So how can the entertainment space get involved in that? Well, imagine a world where you can show your AR, VR collectibles on AR, VR. You see someone walking by and you know that maybe they have AR clothing on. That's just one easy example. But imagine being able to show people what your status is in terms of Veve, like how many collectibles you have. You can actually see other people's showrooms using these AR, VR glasses. So this is what I think the Veve team really sold Disney on. Anyone can make a 3D collectible with Marvel. But I think what really convinced them is they're selling them on a decade-long plan. And the reason I bring up things like Loki, it seems like Ikomi, Veve, they're really a huge part of their plan. And that's amazing. That's so bullish. If you look at something like the James Bond drop, these collectibles were dropping just as the movie was being released. It's just another promotional arm for these movie houses, for these big brands. And then you think about collectibles, that's just a great way to capitalize on this new emerging market. So I think we are not bullish enough in general on Veve as a whole because they have so much we don't even know about. I think our speculation, like Pokemon, that might pop up in a year, maybe 2. But what do they have planned for 5 years? We have no idea. It must be a lot more for Marvel and Disney to want to get involved with Veve. So that's just the point I'm trying to make. I don't think we're bullish enough. And if you think about 2019, the people who got into that token sale, they're already really, really up, right? They're really, really, really wealthy at this point. But you may think about like us, like, did we miss the boom? Is this it? No, because we have yet to see even 10% of what Ecomi Vivi has in terms of licenses. I would even say 1% about what they have planned for the future. We just have not seen it. We have not seen this at all. So, really interesting monologue here, I guess. OMI utility. Yeah, where is the OMI utility? Yeah, Vivi Vault here. Hey, Vivi Vault's in the house, plus no big exchanges, right? We don't even have big exchanges. And I know people are kind of complaining about this, but think about this. We know it's coming. It's just a matter of time. It has to come. If you've watched my previous videos, we have to eventually be on a big exchange. It would be more amazing if they sold OMI through the app. Now, I don't know the legality about that, but that's ultimately, if you look at what their business model is, they want to get these collectibles into the mainstream. They want to make it super easy. I'm just telling you right off the bat, it's not easy to even have an exchange to buy OMI. Being on Coinbase, Binance is going to be easy for a lot of us crypto folks, but for the average consumer out there, it's still not easy. Crypto is still in its early stages of being adopted by the mainstream. I would love it. Now, this is all speculation. There's nothing I've heard that has implied to me that they're going to go in this direction. But you know that Veve is all about making things super easy for people. And what's the easiest way to buy OMI? It's not really through Coinbase, even though that would be a lot easier for me. It'd be a lot easier for a lot of crypto investors. But what would be even easier is if they sold OMI through the app. That would be a lot easier, right? To get master collector, to be able to stake. That would be the easiest thing. Could they just aggregate the price from multiple exchanges so they have a flow of exchange OMI tokens available for sale that you can buy through the app? That I think would be the easiest. And if you know Vive's business model of trying to make it easy for people, that seems like a logical direction. Now, will they do this? I hope so, because that would make the price moon beyond belief. Anyways, the point I'm trying to get at is it would have been nice if we had exchanges 3 months ago. But 3 months ago, I had nowhere near the OMI I have now. So it really represents a great opportunity for us to take a portion of our paychecks, if we're so inclined, purchase OMI. It allows us to get cheaper OMI. Eventually, it's going to come to a point when it's going to be on Coinbase, when it's going to be on Binance, KuCoin, all those other big exchanges that Americans can get on and other people can get on. And that's when the price is going to moon. And people who are holding at minimum 1 million OMI, that's going to be worth a lot in the future. So it's really exciting. You know, the exchange thing has never really bothered me too much because it just allows us to get cheaper OMI. Now, to be honest, I would have wished I got my OMI when it was at 1.1, 2.2, 3.3, something like that. I would have double the OMI I have now, but things happen, right? But I still think having 1 million OMI is still a good investment, because once the mainstream people come in here, it's going to be crazy. The OMI token price is going to be crazy. So, price prediction for the end of first quarter 2022. You know, to be honest, I don't want to make a price prediction video right now because so much is up in the air and we don't even have timelines anymore. I was comfortable to make price predictions 6 months ago when they promised us things like immutable and all these things that we're starting to see now. But I don't want to make it just yet because there's so much going on. I'm hearing some rumors that there could be some big things happening in the next week or so. So I want to see if that actually pans out, what they potentially have in store for us. I think realistically, 1 cent by the end of this year is very doable. I have a bet with someone in the community, and the bet is, are we going to hit 1 cent by quarter one 2022? It was like, I think it was March or April or something of 2022. And this person doesn't think so. She doesn't think so. And that's fine. That's fine if she doesn't think that. But I think that's a no brainer. We hit 1 cent by the end of this year. So really, really exciting. Ryan Craswell says, might have missed it. What is the latest on changing blockchains? Nothing new. Nothing new. We're just going over this master collector article here that they have for us. So anyways, but can you imagine what's going to happen when all these Disney collectibles, they're on the news, they have some advertisements? This token is going to go to the moon. And so many people are talking about it now. If you're on Twitter, Andre Jick still is talking about OMI. There's a lot of things there. It's just an exciting time. So we just have to wait. We have to be patient. It'll happen when it happens. That's what Reese says. So nothing new in regards to that there. Mark says, I hope it hits 1 cent by the end of this year, or the Todd father says he drinks toilet water on Facebook Live. I think we hit a minimum of 1 cent. Really, it would be good to hit all-time highs. I'm honestly very worried about the complexity of the points in respect to the blockchain. How can they keep track of it? Well, it's probably going to be automatic. It's just going to be automatic, I'm sure. I mean, you can always refer back to this article, but I think it'll make a lot of sense. You'll just see a lot of points stacking up, and I don't think that's too difficult. Ryan Craswell says 1 cent in the next 3 to 4 weeks, 5 to 10 cents after Bitcoin peaks, and money flows to the alts. I agree. Mark says the MCP program is amazing. My God, as a collector, the program is perfect. I think they actually did a really good job. I mean, it shows you how connected they are to the community, even though a lot of us whine. It just as an aggregate, a lot of us are whiners. But I think they really thought it through. They have a lot of people that they talk to within the community. And I think they got some good feedback here. So really, really interesting there. OMI is at 0.0071 cents. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know where this price is going to go. It is, the response to Disney yesterday was really muted. I was actually at work. I couldn't respond to that, make a video or anything. But I was a little surprised that it didn't go even further, but it did stop that decline. It was at trading at 5.7, 5.6, 5.8, something like that. And now we're back to the 0.00715, it seems, according to this chart here. So there's a lot to look forward to, man. I mean, it's really exciting. Tash says, Andre believes in the project. I believe he is holding out on releasing a video until the price goes past his initial investment. Yeah, I think so too. He does a lot of research on his videos. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that Millennial Money clip of Andre recently with, Graham and all the other folks there, like Meet Kevin, Financial Education. But he was talking about it, and it was interesting how he got into it. He said he got into it because he was under the impression that Logan Paul would make a video and that would pump the coin. It didn't. So he was really doing a speculative play. It sounds like he really kind of jumped in doing minimal research, and then it didn't. But the important thing here is he never sold any of his tokens, even when it dropped as low as 0.0011, losing 80, 90% of his investment. So that tells you a lot about what he thinks about the project. And if someone like Andre Jick is still invested, he didn't diamond hand out or paper hand out like Graham did, we should be just as bullish. And to be honest, I haven't sold any of my tokens. In fact, I have been selling I sold my rental properties I had. I had 2 rental properties that I sold. I would have sold my third, but I can't. But still, that's fine. Um, but there's, I have sold some of my crypto as well to get into OMI token. I reached my goal of having 10 million OMI, and I'm pretty ecstatic about that. Uh, that puts me somewhere in like the 2 to 3% of OMI holders. So I think I'll be pretty happy with this investment overall. I appreciate you guys for coming on. I mean, it seems like I have like 5,000 some odd subscribers now. And sometimes I see a lot of the negative comments. And then, to be honest, the negative comments gets me more than the positive ones. I shouldn't think like that. But I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and, watching my videos. I want to stay in this until OMI moons. And then I'll focus on something else. But I'm with you guys. Sooner or later, I think bigger YouTubers will eclipse me, and that's fine. But I would have accomplished my mission of getting the word out when I first started this channel. My goal was to prevent a lot of people from dumping unnecessarily. And now I feel a lot of people are at least broken even. Some people aren't. Some people are still waiting. But if I prevented even one person from dumping, and maybe even accumulating, I think we're going to be richly rewarded, and that will be fulfilling enough. Falnor says, are you all in on OMI? I'm not all in. I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum, I have other projects. I believe it's good to diversify, mostly because when OMI goes down, I can buy into OMI, but when OMI goes up, I want to buy things that are going down. As long as it's going down for, it's not dumping because something awful happened. So yes, in this, I've never said I was all in on OMI, but it's my biggest holding. I mean, I have 10 million OMI. It's my largest holding by far. So thoughts on SHIB? Nobody should regret not buying it in April, right? Here's the thing. If you're into SHIB and you made a lot of money, you probably made a lot of money. I'm not hating on you for making money. I'm just saying it's not for me. It's too risky. It is kind of a meme token. So it's going to spike up. And if you get in on it on the right time and you kind of are wise in that regard, that's good for you. But I can't. I don't like to jump into things like meme stocks, meme coins. I just don't do that because I just can't sleep well at night. I wouldn't mind throwing 500 or $1,000. But I am not throwing my whole investment into something like that because I just wouldn't be able to sleep well at night. And if I lost everything, my wife would kill me. She would kill me. So I can't do that. But I have no problems with people making money. And I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of you guys if you made money. But you want to be careful because some of these projects are crap. Have you guys ever heard of Bonfire Token? I remember they were trying to shill their little project. It's kind of like a Safe Moon type project. That thing's in the crapper. I couldn't sleep well at night with a project like Bonfire Token. What's your cost average? I don't know exactly. My highest price was 6.8 and my lowest is like 2.0. Let me see if I can pull it up. 2.0 or something like that. Let me pull that up. Let me get the exact number. I need to do an average. I just don't keep track of that because I'm not really selling. I can track it. I do track my trades for tax purposes, but I got a lot at some at 6.8, a lot at 6.0, a bunch at 4.5. Cheapest seems to be 2.24. 28, 30, 51, 58, 52, 56, 58, 57, 57, 67. So my most expensive trade was like 6.8, I believe. 6.8 was like my first initial trade in April 22nd there. So anyways, it's good. It's exciting because we're in profit. I like everyone likes being in profit. Veve Vault, you got to focus on what's good for you. I know you're a master collector, so to speak there, right? But you got to do with what you're good at. But I've always tended to be more of a crypto guy. So I'm in crypto stuff. Omi is pumping hard right now. It's doing good, man. I really don't think this news of Disney and all this stuff is entirely priced in. I know a lot of the community knows about it, but in terms of them buying the token, but our RSI is definitely high up. So now's not the time to get in on the token. The RSI is above 7.0. It's like at 8.4, 8.5. Anything above 7.0 is overvalued. So now's not the time to really buy. People are just FOMOing in. So my negative comments are mostly making fun of the complaining users we're exposed to. I have no complaints with Veve or Comey. They have treated me fantastically. The entire thing is fun. Yeah. And, there was a bunch of people, excuse me, because I complained about the immutable thing and the pace of the immutable thing, that I'm like, don't know what I'm talking about, that I don't have the investor mentality. And that irritates me, to be honest, because I haven't sold a token. I know what it's like. I've been holding at low as low as 0.0011 this year. I know what it's like. So it's okay to me to complain to you guys about how I feel about some small thing, but still be bullish overall on the project. I think people just don't get that or something. And that kind of annoys me. But I have invested so much of my time doing these videos. I've invested a lot of my money. I mean, I'm pretty invested in the community, and then maybe that's why I'm so passionate about it. And also, here's the thing too: when you make content like this, every week something new is coming up. So every week feels like a month. Every month feels like a year. It's not like that. So when they keep pushing things back from immutable migration going from August to September to October, now possibly November, probably December, maybe not even this year, who knows? I mean, it's a little frustrating. It's a little frustrating. I still appreciate each and every person on the project. They're a great team, but you can be annoyed at stuff. I think it's rightful to be annoyed at things that happen, but hey, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think 1 million gives you a good return in a year. I do, because I mean, I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think the price is going to be in 2022? I think 2022 is going to be a good year. 2021 is going to be the year of the hiccups, and 2022 things are going to be smooth. We're going to see a lot of people getting into this token. We're going to see a lot of coverage from other big YouTubers, from people on the news. I mean, we have Marvel, we have Disney, Star Wars. Think about the fanboys in Star Wars and how big that collectible market is, how big that license is worth, and we have it. And most likely, when we have the Veveverse, we're going to be able to play with our Star Wars collectibles. I mean, that's amazing. Now, a lot of us already knew we kind of had this, but it's good to get confirmation. We have this confirmation, and that's good. Saul Guerrera, is that from Breaking Bad there? Why do you not like real estate? I wanted to get into it, but right now I prefer crypto. Here's the thing. I don't mind answering this question. When I first got my big boy job, well, I became a professional registered nurse in 2014. And that's a good salary. In Oklahoma, it was like 50,000 a year. That's pretty respectable salary. It's pretty good. But I got this great job I have in 2019. Yes, August 2019. And my first year there, I made $135,000 a year. And that's a lot of money. And I was still living pretty frugally. And I was wondering what I was going to do with all this money. So I always loved real estate. I always liked the idea of having rental properties. So I bought a couple properties. I moved out of my primary home I had in Norman, Oklahoma, turned that into rental, and I accumulated some properties. But what they don't tell you about properties is rental properties is a get rich slow kind of game. you'll be rich in 30 years, but it's kind of slow. And the thing about rental properties, you got to have a mindset for rental properties. I had one property where every month, every other month, my tenant was calling my property manager about something that was broken. So I would get 300 bucks in profit after paying the mortgage and light and insurance and stuff like that, and property management fees. And I would dump all that money basically back into fixing whatever that tenant said was wrong with the property, whether it was broken or not. And that's really, really stressful. And what I realized about that, and I even had I had my great property, um, and she was great, but the profit margins of properties are just kind of slim sometimes. So I had some fixes I had to do as well, and that just takes a lot out. And it just basically got to the point where you have three properties, and every month something is breaking because you have properties. And the more properties you have, you're going to have something breaking every couple weeks, every month or so, because you have so many properties after a certain point. And that what I realized, I'm not a landlord. I got a little bit tired of that. And I realized real estate is not for me. Stocks are more my thing because I don't have to deal with like the little hiccups, the tenant issues, things like that. Legality is a big thing. You can't have the appearance of being discriminatory, right? You can't do that. Stocks, you don't have to worry about it. You put your money in and you just watch it grow. And crypto is kind of the same way. Now, crypto swings can be really cause you to vomit, but it's never really bothered me. I am more bothered by tenant issues. So that's why I got out of real estate. I realized it wasn't for me. What price would you consider selling? I don't know. Probably somewhere at 5 cents because that would be like a 8x return or something right now. So I would probably start consider selling a little bit just to get my investment out somewhere around 5 cents. What are your thoughts on Decentraland? I think Decentraland is cool in principle, but in execution it just sucks. There's just nothing to do in Decentraland. They did have a concert recently, and that was kind of cool, but Decentraland seems like it's dying. They haven't done anything new and innovative in a while. I would rather do like Sandbox or something. Max P says, I'm confused. Your rental properties only got you 10 million OMI. Wouldn't you have 100,000 selling your property? So all of them were on mortgages. So I had a little bit of a down payment. I had some equity in there, but it's not like I owned them outright. And that's the problem with real estate too, is if you own them outright, you have so much cash flow, but I didn't do that. So that's what it is. And also some of my sales, I actually put into other tokens like Illuvium. I really wanted to get into Illuvium and some other things like Solana. So that's what I did. Pop, how's it going, man? Brother from Germany. I am 30,000 away from 0.5 million tokens, Dan. Should I wait a few days before I reach my 500,000? Well, let's see. Like, I wouldn't, this is just speaking for me. I can't predict the future, but I would imagine this is just kind of a false pump. It's already trading, well, it's at 7.2, but the RSI is still a little too high for me. But I don't want to say that, and all of a sudden it gets to 8.2, 8.3, and we're retesting those levels. So it's up to you, man. I personally wouldn't buy at these levels. I try to buy it when it's down, not when it's mooning and you're FOMOing into the project. But that's what I think. Oh, you're in Duncan? I've been to Duncan. That's kind of a nice town. There's not a lot outside of Duncan, but Duncan is a nice town. They have a nice hospital there. I've done some training there. So Duncan's okay. There's just not a lot there. Man, how far was that drive from Norman? It must have been like an hour and a half or something to get to Duncan or something like that. So, anyways, it's a really exciting time to be part of this thing. Like, oh, Comey to the moon. I don't know if you see that here. A Comey to the moon shirt there. It's going to the moon, brothers and sisters. It's going to the moon. So it's easy to get caught up in the nitty gritty, but just hold on to your tokens and just enjoy life. I know I make all these videos and stuff like that, and I feel like I have to be involved at this point because I make these videos, but really just hold the token, go outside and enjoy life a little bit. Uh, you don't want to get to the point where, well, the token is going to moon when it moons. It's going to moon. It's just a matter of when. You don't want to miss out on life, getting too focused on things like that. If I wasn't doing this YouTube channel, I would probably just put my phone, periods of time, I would just put my phone away, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, go do cool stuff. And the OMI token is going to be there for us. It's going to reward us greatly. So, Gala says, what am I missing here? No OMI utility with MCP. NFT accessories and MCP Pro should have been OMI only. Now there's gems and MCP points against OMI. How will the value increase? Well, OMI token utility is going to be a big thing too, because you can double your chances using MCP Pro, MCP benefits. OMI, you can stake your OMI, get some benefits to get some of these drops. You can do the lottery, wager some OMI to get exclusive access to drops. So that's coming. That's going to be okay. I kind of don't understand your question, because it's still a lot more utility than what we have. Because right now, what can you really do with OMI besides being completely speculative? I mean, gems are OMI. I don't know if you don't realize that, but when you're buying gems, you're buying OMI. It's burning OMI. So I don't know, man. Don't know what to tell you. Zach with the donation. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. So making money today again. Finally, win 1 cent business Zoom call. I don't know, man. I'm always available on Twitter. You can hit me up. I usually respond to people's messages unless it's too spammy for me. I'm on Twitter a lot. You can get in touch with me there, and I don't charge for my interaction, so that's good. I'm relatively available for most people there. Just hit me up whenever. Question, Daniel, can you ask the team when we see previous owners on the collectibles? For example, if I have a Todd Batman, which previous owner was Elon Musk? That would give the collectible more value. Yeah. Honestly, it has to be when, I don't think I have to ask the team this. I think it's basically when we migrate over to immutable. Right now, these are real NFTs, guys, but there's no way to really visualize it on GoChain because it's kind of obsolete. But once we're on immutable, once we're on Ethereum, we will be able to track that record there. So they've talked about having signatures, so to speak, on the collectible. So it's just going to be when we migrate over. Now, when is that going to happen? I don't know. It's a good question. I just don't know the answer to that. Do you think the NFT drop on IMX would be amazing and biblical? Well, this is the way. This is the way. Yeah, I think it'll be big, man. I don't know how big, but I think it's going to be a big thing. But Okay, so here's this question. Because why would I use OMI to wager when I have points on gems, which is easy to purchase? There's competition that affect OMI from MCP points and gems. So basically, there's two ways to capitalize on the lottery system. You can use the MCP points, which if you have collectibles, and of course you guys can read the article as well. Reading it is probably better for you than me talking about it. But so you can wager your points to get that. But there's also another way, like a second way, and you can also wager OMI. You can do both to increase your chances of getting it. Now, probably what's implied with this Master Collector program, wagering points and losing points whether you win it or not, is that that's probably going to happen with OMI. You can wager some OMI as well, and whether you win or lose, it's gonna burn that OMI. So that's kind of great. But at the same time, I know a lot of people, like I wouldn't really plan on wagering OMI to get these drops because I value OMI really highly. So if I did, it's going to be a small amount, you know. When we'll be able to unwrap our OMI? When we are fully migrated over. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for me here. But at 6:30 Central Standard Time, 7:30 Central Standard Time, I'm going to be hooking up with John Crypto's Therapy. He is a big investor. He has supposedly, allegedly, 1 billion OMI. He is a former Bank of America trader. He knows a lot about trading. He'll probably be able to answer a lot of your TA questions of whether you should buy right now or sell right now. So stay tuned for that. I'll be sometime later today, and I think it'll be great. I have a lot of questions for him, and I think you guys will be really excited. So I'll see you, I don't know, in like 3 hours or so on the stream. All right. Take care. Later.